Hi, my name is Izzy Bailey, and I'm partnering up with NSCF to share a little bit about my story working in professional sport, provide a little bit of insight into that life, but also about keeping a work-life balance, which I think is really important. I'm a UK sport-funded athlete on the Paralympic shooting team, and I'm also a master's student at the University of Exeter in Devon. I first started shooting in 2013 whilst I was in rehabilitation for a spinal cord injury. I'm a complete T11 paraplegic. And I competed in my first international in 2014, and I went to the 2016 Rio Paralympic Games, which was the highlight of my career so far. My role as an athlete has a lot of different sort of facets, if you like. The obvious ones are a lot of training, a lot of competing. When we're in a training week, it's maybe 20-25 hours behind the gun in a week. In our weeks off, you have to focus on your own physiotherapy and fitness and general well-being. I think it's really important to have a work-life balance, especially when you're an athlete. It's really easy to fall into a pattern of serious training, which makes you sort of lose perspective about other things that are going on in your life. So for me, I find that work-life balance with study. When I had my injury, I just completed my first year at Exeter, but when I had my injury, I took a year out in rehabilitation and went back and did my second and third years of my undergraduate. And then 2 years later, I went back to start my master's, which I am going to finish this year, fingers crossed. But yeah, aside from the training and the competing, there's a lot of different facets to being an athlete, and one of them is being a mentor, which I love. A mentor to other athletes, youngsters starting out or people that need advice, but also to the public as well. We get to do a lot of school visits and also visits to businesses. We do a lot of talks about smart thinking and planning, which is a part of my role that I never expected, but a great part of my role. What's my motivation to keep going when times are tough? The big one has to be the Paralympic Games themselves. My first experience was Rio, and it was just fantastic. The atmosphere, the people. The people of Brazil were so hospitable and so kind and so enthusiastic, and the support that you receive when you're at the Paralympic Village, when you're at the games, is just phenomenal. It's like nothing else, and I can really understand why athletes get caught up in this lifestyle and the sort of the Paralympic bubble, if you like. I mean, once you've done one games, you just want to keep going back and doing more and more and more. So yeah, the games is a big motivational factor for me. Also, I enjoy being in this sort of Paralympic bubble, if you like. We do a lot of travelling, and we travel all around the world, from Asia to North America, South America, all over Europe, and we meet a lot of people from a lot of different countries. Lots of different cultures come together, and it's kind of like travelling with a massive group of friends. Everywhere you go, your friends are there, and you're all chasing the same dream. You're all working towards the same goals. And that's a fantastic atmosphere to be in, because you've got people there to support you through the hard times, but also encourage you and congratulate you when you succeed. My biggest piece of advice to anyone looking to pursue a career in sport would be to try a lot of different things first. For me, I was very lucky in that I started shooting as a pastime in rehabilitation, and I happened to be good at it. And the coach at the time, actually, he didn't really give me a choice. He came and took me from my bed in hospital and said, you're coming to train now. You're coming to train. At this point, I'm still quite ill and quite weak, but he didn't seem to understand that. But I mean, obviously, he was right, and it was the right decision. But to anyone looking to get into a career in sport now, my first piece of advice would be to try a lot of different things first, and really get a feel for for what you love and what you're passionate about. And even if it's not the thing that you're best at first, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. And that will be the key to your success at the end of the day. It's also very important, like I said at the start, to keep a work-life balance. Don't pour 100% of your energy into your sport straight away, because you do need to maintain a perspective of what's important. Family, friends, don't let them slip. You know, if you have other goals as well, if you have a part-time job, if you have education goals, those are still just as important. So find a work-life balance, and whether that's you find that from talking to friends and family, maybe you have a family, maybe you have a husband and a wife and kids and things, you know, make sure you gain their perspective on what you're doing, and make sure that you don't lose touch with other parts of your life. Having said that, from a career in sport, I think there's just endless advantages. You know, I've already mentioned the travel that we get to do. We get to see corners of the world that we never would have seen otherwise. The friends we meet and the things we learn about people from all around the world. Yeah, and the ultimate goal is the Paralympic Games, which, I mean, I've been to one. I'm qualified for Tokyo 2020, which, I mean, looks like it's going to be 2021 now, but we've been assured that qualified athletes will remain qualified, which is a relief. But I mean, yeah, a career in sport is a fantastic, uplifting thing, and I'm really glad to have fallen into it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions for future videos or for me, you can use Twitter, LinkedIn or Facebook by using the hashtag #FindingYourFuture and tagging the NSEF account. Cool. Thanks for watching. I'm Izzy Bailey.